Hello guys, today we're going to be talking about Renee. So she got her EE fairly recently, and I know a few people were already asking me to do a review on her before, so I'm going to do it now. Because I usually tend to wait to the EEs because they sometimes change the skills, like for example what they did with Cheetos. I can't really say if Cheetos changing was a buff or a debuff, it really depends how you use her, but let's talk about Renee now. So first of all, why you should use her? Only if you have a mono Ardor front, and she would be right wing forward. I don't know exactly what those letters mean. Right front, right. Um, Usually you're gonna have an Elaine center front, and then you're gonna have the striker on the left side. Worst case, you can move her. It doesn't make that big of a difference. Now, again, as I mentioned, she's from Mono Ardor, and there's a great synergy because friendship chain, Elaine. So I'm going to be going back down to that, but this is one of the reasons why she's going to work really great in an Ardor front. Now, her active is increase the target's action bar by 100%, receive pass effect 40%, critical damage 40%. I mean, this is fairly basic, but it's still a really nice pass effect. I mean, it's a passer. There's nothing really OP about it, as long as you can get that crit rate. So it has great synergy with Willow Metatron William if you're running that, but usually when you're at that point, you have Balteon. I don't know, it's just pretty decent. Now, there's increased action speed, reflex, and pass effect. So this is basically to counter the fact she's not a legend and give her some really nice stats. I do want to point out the action speed is going to help a lot because she's a passer, and the reflex can never help. Pass effect also isn't bad, so really there's nothing wrong with this skill. Now, this is the reason why we say that she's Ardor only, is because she's going to increase the receiving pass effect by 25% and the critical rate by 20%. Now, why this is very powerful is because increasing the receiving pass effect has more value than increasing the pass effect if there is very little receiving pass effect already on the line, who with this line there usually isn't any. So it's actually a much bigger buff than 25% when you're looking at the actual pass value. And again, crit rate never hurts, especially in PvP, because you usually need 260%, and that's why people use William with Will of Metatron, even through that's maybe not the best stone he could have, but the way they use it, he can be really OP. And now this is where she actually got her buff when they eat her. Increased pass effect by 35%, max height by 30%, and this is the difference. Decrease incoming damage by 30%. And this finally solves her one problem when she was in frontline. She wasn't tanky enough. You could one-tap penetrate her and destroy her. Well, she's still destroyable. I'm not going to go and say now she's a total tank, especially compared to Elaine or some other frontline players people will run. But now she does have a decent amount of resistance. If you get some passives, if you get some stones correctly, you should be able to counter that pretty simply. On the chain level, let's be honest, the only one that really matters is the friendship with Elaine. And maybe, and only maybe, if for any weird reason you're running a Jean, every other chain is a 2 to 3 star. They're really worth nothing. They're not even worth mentioning, and I can't imagine it activate. At this point, I would just call this 3-dimension stones. Now, let's look at a stone slot level. So the first thing you're going to notice is it's a very basic stone slot setup. The question is basically going to be how much pass bonus you want to give, or do you want to increase her tankiness? So we're going to be doing this on a very simple principle. We're going to be increasing decrease. We're going to give a lot of spirit, because a lot of people in Ardor fronts need spirit, because Ardor doesn't have the greatest spirit generators. So let's get started. First, we're going to take the Wormwind Pass Unique, because it's honestly one of the best pass stones. We're going to follow up with the Ardor Pass Stone, just because it has that really nice spirit gen on top of it. And then in the dark, we're going to put a life stone because they give decreased damage on top of it, who has great synergy with her last skill, and again will increase her tankiness exponentially. Now, in the last slot, since you're generating so much spirit, I would really advise going for a Thunder pass effect, just like this. If they try to steal or attack you, you're going to get some bonus reflex. Who's going to stop them from doing that? From counter reflexing you. Now again, this is a decent build, but if you fight she's not tanky or resistant enough, You can always switch it up and replace the Ardor pass effect by an Ardor reflex, and you could even throw another reflex in Prime. It's really up to you. But this is basically around where her stones should be variating, and these are again some of the most common stones that you're going to see in builds. Immunity, Soul Gravel, I honestly don't think it has any value, and it's not an immunity that has any importance. And on a skin level again, the base is cool. The second one looked kind of lazy, and the third one is new but kind of weird to me. I don't know. I'm not just not a fan of it. So let's see if they do anything new. And when we're looking at her A skill, critical rated action speed of Ardor players is actually pretty decent, especially when you're doing COT. If you want to go fast with a Mono Ardor team, or even COD at the beginning, this could be pretty nice, but end-wise, it's not going to have as much value. I wouldn't advise using this as the permanent ace. Have a good day, guys.